Yeah, hi, welcome, thank you for having me here. Up first this morning, so I don't know if that's good or bad, but let's see what gives. Yeah, the company pretty simply called HRLab. My name's Achim, I'm a co-founder of HRLab. We're coming from quite a long history of experience in HR consultancy. And so we did HR operations consultancy. And well, the one thing that we figured and found in many places was that companies usually, does the clicker work? Yeah, there it is. That usually the majority of processes are being administered manually, and you have very many like data silos on different places. You have HR, you have recruiting tools, you have feedback tools, you have payment, payroll tools, you have all kinds of different things and sets of tools, but they're usually administered decentralized. So the task was to find a place to put those data together to make that usable for analytics and for other things, particularly when it goes down to payroll services. Essentially, you need all things in one place. So that was the basic idea that we started with and how we went on. The market that we're dealing with is a pretty large market. I mean, it's our focus market is companies between roughly 200 and 2,000 employees. That's where we are focusing on. So a little larger than some of the other startup companies in that area is, because essentially there is not many competition as of today. Fortunately, there are some very big tools like Workday, etc., but they usually focus on the very large companies. But HRLab is more or less focusing on the small and mid-sized enterprises or more on the mid-cap segment, and that's where there's not that much competition, fortunately. Interestingly, even though 62% of the companies actually want to use HR tech, only 17% only use already HR tech, whatever kind of software they may be. And that is something where it actually shows that there is a big market. So I already said our target group where it is. We basically sort of segmentize between the pure HR management platform and the HR management platform plus analytics. We do partner with, I guess, a couple of major players. Well, one certainly in Germany, which is DATEV, who is the major driving force behind anything that's got to do with tax consultancy and payroll services. So that's a very important partner for us because we can push our information directly into the payroll service provider and have out of the one system without any manual interaction, without any exports, imports, and any other things. We can just create a payroll slip just right out of this. Second thing is we do partner with Salesforce. We're an ISV partner with Salesforce.com. As of, I think, actually should be by 10th of this month, we are available in the App Store and the App Exchange from Salesforce. So whenever you are already using any Salesforce app, you can just install over on top of that the HRLab platform, and you'll have all in one place. Nice thing is you don't need necessarily to go with the Salesforce surface. You can just, for the administrative part, go with Salesforce, but for the user part, for the employees, they can just use our own UI and have, just a way more neat interface to deal with. Now, how's it built? What's the philosophy of the product itself? Basically, we have three core areas: comp and payroll, employee data administration, and workforce management. That is what we build up in our own tool as primary focus area. And then there is four areas of so-called strategic HR topics, which is recruiting, performance, and talent management, and all other kinds of things that go around this. What we did is we created an API layer around our tool in order to be able to, kind of put everything else that is already there on the platform. Because essentially, I think one good example, we will see it here later on this stage, that most startups, most companies in HR actually focus on recruiting. And there's actually good reason for that, because it's not that one tool is the best and all others are crap. It's just more that, there is very different focus how you actually want to deal with things. And so whenever we would start to build our own complete recruiting section, for example, that would mean that we would always cut out like 80% of the companies because they say, well, this is probably a nice way to do this, but this is not our way. We want this to be solved. Second thing is that you probably have a lot of solutions such as time and attendance and other things that companies already have in use. So it would be a bad message to come up with them and say, well, go ahead and use HRLab, but whatever you have already in place, you need to replace by our solution. But we just say, okay, whatever you have that is good in those strategic areas around the core HR tool, then just keep them. We connect them via API, and you have all the information in one place. You can administer everything in one place. So what is the life cycle of employees? What do we do here? Basically, yes, we start with personnel planning. We have a recruiting part. As I said, you can also connect any other tools that you might have. We go through HR management, onboarding, offboarding, digital personal files, certainly document management, comp and payroll. And we end with development of people, including performance and usual normal qualification and feedback. So that is basically the tool. We try to be there in one place for HR management to really be able to administer your workforce as a whole. What do we do in people analytics, in people data monitoring? I said we are partner of Salesforce.com. Salesforce with Einstein employs probably the most advanced AI machine that is available, and we can put all our information, just load it up into Einstein and get feedback out of this, and then give you advice on how to deal with your people. And we do this in an anonymous way over the entire crowd of the people that are on our platform, and can play this out to you then in a personalized way, so you can usually actually know what to do and with whom to do this. Well, we are starting with an HRLab store as well, sort of an app store internally. I said we have a platform, so we want to enable you to use whatever tools you might already have, and we're creating section for section also like an app store where you actually can download other additional tools that you might want to have. Our KPIs, well, we are in the 3rd month right now of actually having traction or getting our product out on the road. I think we are, particularly due to the reason that we have relatively large ticket sizes, we are really quickly picking up on speed there, and that is a good thing.
Talking of speed, I have to jump in, just have to make it fair and square for absolutely everyone. Please put your hands together for HRLab. Thank you so much.